In the current scenario, we see a lot of Instagram handles being hacked, especially celebrities and popular figures. We want to address this issue, and today we have a special guest, Shweta Chawla. Shweta Chawla has been a digital forensic investigator for more than 20 years now. She runs her own forensic investigation firm called SC Cyber Solutions in Pune. She also conducts workshops and training sessions for corporates and organizations in digital forensic projects. And today she's going to guide us on how to safeguard our social media handles and have a great experience using them. Welcome, Shweta. We
Thank you,
are I'm
Vinod.
very happy to have you on board. Please tell us how do we, protect our Instagram handles? How do we prevent from getting hacked or getting our handles misused? So, would you? So I'll start with the questions.
Sure.
So the first question that I want to ask you is, it's become a very common issue that people, like a lot of celebrities, a lot of influencers face this problem that their account are being hacked. But why do people hack accounts?
Why do people hack accounts? Okay, that is in many ways a very, very, very large psychological topic. We won't get into that. I'll give you the basic reasons why people hack accounts. First is primarily for financial gain. Second is for some personal enmity or personal gain. And the third is just. As in, let's see if we can, let's have some fun. And if we get into it, great, we might make some money out of it. If we, or we'll harass somebody. Of these, the third is today one of the least common reasons for attack or for an account being compromised. The first of the lot, the financial gain, is the primary reason why accounts are compromised today. If I can get into an account of somebody who is an influencer, as a perpetrator, I can hide behind them, and using their account, I can probably send out a message to 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 1 million followers. Of these, the likelihood that a fair number are going to think that this is legitimate because it is coming from somebody they already trust, somebody they already believe in, somebody whose opinions they have got used to accepting and following, they are likely to fall prey to this kind of a crime much faster than they would to something from an anonymous account. So it is very common for us to get calls saying that I got a message from an influencer asking me to participate in this particular financial activity, and I bought something worth 5,000 from there, but I didn't get it. Or I realized later that it was a fraud. And as a victim, the person I'm going to hold responsible is not some third party. The person I'm going to hold responsible is the person from whom I have got compromised. That is the influencer. So it gives the people, the perpetrators, a wider reach and something to hide behind, which is why most influencers' accounts do get compromised.
Thank you, Shweta. So how do we prevent our accounts from getting hacked? What are the measures that we can take so that we don't fall prey to such acts?
So the measures are often very common across different social media accounts. The first of them is always, without really thinking about it, just activate two-factor authentication. The best way to do this is to use an app, but if you don't want to use an app for it, you can always ask for an SMS to come to your device. If you are being more cautious about it, put a phone number that is not primarily linked to your account as your two-factor authentication number. But again, that is if you're being excessively paranoid. Otherwise, at least ask for an SMS to come to your phone number. That's the first thing. Second thing is, for all accounts, make sure that you have an active email address that is linked to it. Again, should not be your primary email address, should not be the email address linked to your banking. but an email address that you are still going to be checking. And if at any point of time your account does get compromised, or if they want to verify your identity, it's an account that you have access to. Third is make sure that your settings are as private as you can keep them. Now, that's not something that is possible for an influencer. It's not something that is possible for somebody who wants to be a public account. But for the bulk of the people who are not looking at making it a public account, keep everything as private as you can. For those who are looking at this as a primary interface with multiple people, you have to share certain details, but those certain details do not necessarily need to include personal data. Fourth, after you are done with all of this, keep location turned off. I understand that part of the reason for social media is to live stream and to put information up live as to where you are. But turning on the location is not very hard. Turn it on when needed and turn it off once you are done with the activity. These are your basic measures that you take. So I'll repeat: two factor authentication, make sure that you have a valid email account linked, the best possible security settings that the app permits that you are willing to put into place, and keep your location off. These are your basic things that you do. It's not going to guarantee that you will not be hacked, but it does make it much more difficult for somebody to hack your account.
When you realize that your account is being hacked or it's being compromised, what are the first steps when you realize that your account is being hacked?
Unfortunately, most people realize that their account is under attack only after they have lost control of their account. So, in the situation where you have lost complete control of your account, you're not able to log into it, the only method that you have to follow is to contact the support that exists for that particular social media. So, support for Instagram, support for Facebook, for Twitter, for Snapchat, whatever your social media account is. First thing is contact the support. Take as many screenshots as you have, or as many as you can get, contact them. Also, contact a person who you know on a different media and ask them to post a message saying that your account has been hacked, that you, as the legitimate owner, as of now, do not have access, and that you are trying to gain access. What this does is, while you are working with the social media agency to get your account back, people will not fall prey to anything that is put on your account. The, the social media platform will ask you for a lot of questions. So they will ask you personal details like who you have communicated with in the last maybe 24 hours, 48 hours. They'll ask you the last password. They will, in fact, Instagram particularly asks you to upload a video of yourself with your face visible so that they can match it against the videos and the pictures that you have on your uh, profile. Follow all the steps that you can. So, all the steps that social media asks you, do those. Ideally, if you've got two factor authentication enabled, this attack would have been that much more difficult. But assuming that you haven't or that it has been compromised, your social media platform will help you out. That's step one. Step two is contact law enforcement agencies. And the easiest way to do this is report the case on cybercrime.gov.in. That is cybercrime.gov.in. They have a portal that exists which asks you a series of questions. Report the crime there, report it to your local police station. It might seem like a far too tedious a step to do for the social media account being compromised. But the fact is that for many, many people, the social media platform is their front face. It is who they are. It is also for a lot of people a source of income. So it is essential that this is reported. Assuming that this attack has probably originated because the user clicked on a compromised link or something of that kind, the probability that the device itself is compromised is also exists. So scan your device ideally. Uh, Make sure that you have an antivirus on your device, either your cell phone or your computer or your tablet, valid, active, licensed one, which is going to be scanning for basic things. But that does not mean that there are going to be links that do not seem legitimate that we click on. They might look absolutely normal, they might be perfectly legitimate looking. They might even have come from Instagram, as far as we are concerned, as in they might say Instagram help or something of the kind. It's very easy to build fake links of this kind. So, suppose this has happened, it means that you have willfully clicked on something that you should not have. If such a situation exists, absolutely certainly report it and absolutely certainly make sure that your device is clean, which might also mean that once you have control of your account, you reset the passwords for all other social media accounts and you also factory reset the device. It's tedious, but sometimes these are the best ways to go about it.
So I had this one question that when we download apps, a lot of time they ask a lot of details. They want to know
Yep.
about our, like about our email address or all the other details. So is it okay if we give them the permission or access to our personal information, or should we not go for such apps? Because a lot of time these apps are valid, but then they ask too much information. So there is a confusion.
So I would like to say that don't give the apps the permission, but then that also means that you might not be able to use the app at all. So if it is an app that is something that you need or something that you absolutely want, you're going to have to weigh the pros and cons of the app. So while they will ask you for the information, do I need the app? If I need the app, then I have to provide the information. If I can get an app that is similar, that is going to ask me for less data, excellent. Failing which, there are now mechanisms by which all cell phones allow you to reduce the permissions. So maybe what you can do is provide the information on install, and then after you have installed it, turn off the permission. I'm not saying this will help. I'm not saying this is going to reduce your attack probability. It is, in fact, as soon as you install the app and give the permission, whatever permissions you have given, all that data is already going to go to the website or to the app. Any new data will not go to them in real time. So the best possible solution in this case is have a list of apps that you want. And when your phone is clean, when it doesn't have any of your personal data in it, no contacts, no pictures, nothing of the kind, install the apps as you need and turn off their permissions. That's a nuisance because what if I want an app today and my phone is 3 years old? It's got 3 years worth of data on it. I'm not going to be able to reduce that data. In which case, then I am going to have to weigh it out. Do I need the app? Am I willing to take into account the risks that exist? And if yes, then I install the app. Also, we need to be particularly careful of which apps we are downloading. So Play Stores of all platforms are usually very careful about cleaning out, looking for apps that are malicious and taking them away. But that does not mean that they can do this proactively. They can't very often do this when the app is being loaded onto the Play Store. So the probability that you're going to find an app that is malicious exists. It's a risk that we are going to have to take. But while taking that risk, if I am going to be downloading an app, there's no reason why I can't just do a basic search on the app first. Go onto Google, go onto Bing, go onto any search engine, type in the app name, type in the manufacturer name, and do something called review. If you've also noticed, the Play Store today gives you details of what information the app claims it is going to take and what information it is sharing with third party agencies. So Wait.
Thank you, Shweta. So, my next question is a lot of so being a social media marketing person myself, I see a lot of times brand give us access to their handles. Like so, for from the brand perspective, how do we like for instance, if I'm working for this a brand, they give us access to their accounts, and it's not just I'm using the account from my personal cell phone. The similar thing happens that many people are using the same handle from their account. So in situation like this, how do we make sure that our accounts are safe and like uh, in a better position?
So, as a brand, I am going to want to be careful about who I am giving my access to. I understand that brands have multiple people who are looking at their marketing, and so they are going to share that handle with multiple users. But when I'm doing that, I will probably make sure that I have some kind of legal documentation in place with this user. And from the brand perspective, it will put the onus of protection on the user. So it will say that as a brand, I am giving you my handle. It is your job to make sure that my handle is kept safe. As an individual, that puts me at risk. That puts me at risk, one, because a brand is much more valuable a target than an individual user's account is. It also puts me at risk because, as an individual who is representing a brand and who has possibly signed some kind of a contract with that brand, I am legally responsible for making sure that that account is safe, which means the brand can hold me accountable. And that could mean going to court. So the onus of protection and the weight of risk are much heavier on the individual than on the brand itself. But the brand also might end up with certain marketers who are not looking at, who might at some point of time have personal views that might be contrary to the brand, who might also at some point of time decide to say things that are contrary to what the brand wants to say. And in which case, the brand will take legal action against those. But the brand has publicly now issued a statement that might not be in keeping with the brand's opinion. So, ideally, what the brand ought to do, and this is not easy to do, this is not even something that many people do, is set up a filtering mechanism by which, before the post is actually uploaded or before the post is broadcast, it is examined by a certain bunch of moderators. This isn't easy and very often not possible for most brands to do.
Shweta. Shweta, I have a last question for you. A lot of time
Sure.
people say that a certain cell phone, like if you use iPhone, it will help you protect your like your information and your social media handles less likely to get hacked, and as compared to Android phones or other phones. So, what is your suggestion in such cases? Does it make a difference if we change our gadgets?
It is true that iPhones have more inbuilt basic levels of security, as in an iPhone is possibly going to be more rigid about allowing you access to certain apps, certain websites, certain technologies, which an Android phone might probably just allow you. That being said, that does not necessarily make the iPhone more secure. One, there are bugs that are that are designed specifically for iPhones now. Two, malware of all kinds are designed specifically for iPhones, and assuming that the iPhone is more secure is erroneous. Three, all apps will give you the same level of security, whether you are an iPhone or you are an Android. So if you are using the security that the app is providing you with, then the phone makes no difference, as long as you use the most stringent possible levels of security. On Androids also, you can be a lot more restrictive about what apps you download, about where you download these apps from. So while Android allows you to download an APK from pretty much anywhere, an iPhone will not allow you to do that. But Androids will also tell you that an APK being downloaded from a remote location or an unknown location is likely to be malicious. So where the iPhone is taking a lot of the burden of security on themselves, and Android is identifying the security risks and giving the user the option. So it is also, in a sense, they are both equally secure if the user puts in basic measures.
Thank you, Shweta. That was very insightful conversation,
You're
and I'm sure
welcome.
it's going to help our viewers. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me. You too.